Hi, this is Jack Downs with a special message for all my students in JOU127, 317, and 318. Overall, for everybody, I want to say for those of you who have jumped back into these classes under these difficult circumstances and are pushing bravely ahead, thank you very much. I understand it's not easy for any of us. For some people, a lot harder than others. And please stick with it. And for those of you, and these are the people I'm especially addressing, who have been, because of circumstances, because of where you happen to be living now, because of the equipment that you have, you've been slow to get organized and to get back into the process of taking your classes. And then you're faced with my classes, which, for better or worse, are different than the way other people are doing it, some other people. My classes, as you have seen, are largely self-directed, asynchronous. In other words, you have to force yourself to go through the Moodle lessons one after another in a methodical way. In all my classes, you're starting at week 8, which is the week we came back from break, and you're just watching first the welcome piece, then each video as you go along, and then you'll see there are handouts that go with them, and then there are assignment drop boxes. Sometimes there's just a bunch of lectures and handouts. Sometimes there are repeated drop boxes, which depending on which kind of course you are in. But it is self-directed, and you just go week by week, and I will keep on revealing more weeks as we go. Good news is, because of some of you and changing work schedules and family situations and living situations, this means you don't have to be at a particular place and time to watch the video. To not watch the video, to engage in a video, to have like a Zoom session. Bad news is, because you don't have to be at a particular place and time to have a joint Zoom session, you don't have that motivation to perhaps to get engaged. So for any of you who have not gotten engaged in the classes yet, I strongly, strongly, strongly encourage you to try to do it now. As we're ending this first week, it's still plenty of time to get back into these classes. So you go to Moodle, you go to the week 8 section, and you start methodically going through the videos, watching, looking at the handouts, doing the work. Now let me go class by class and talk about a few specific things. In 127, the speech class, frankly, the class, I think, eases up a little bit because we don't have those exams to worry about, and we don't have a lot of class time spent, for better or worse, we don't have a lot of class time spent watching each other's presentations. You're going to do your presentations on your own and video yourself. But your first presentation, since the break, is coming up pretty soon. So please, you got to get that going. You got to go through my video instruction on it, and remember, you don't have perhaps the same research tools that you did. You can do a lot of research online, and I'm including in this email where this video was for all my students links to the Feinberg library resources. It's because there's still librarians around who can still help you, but still research for your 127 projects, it's not going to be quite as easy perhaps. But you got to stick with it. And remember, I would say, we say this about news, about news stories and newscasting. So we'll say about presentations also. A bad newscast is better than no newscast at all. A speech which maybe doesn't have quite the research that you need it to be is still better than no speech at all. So you still do the speech. And as far as for one more thing for 127, we may have some issues with you getting your recorded speeches to me. We'll see how things go with Moodle. If not, we'll change up and do something different. We'll do Google Drive shares or something. But it's going to work out. But you just got to get back into it and do it. Okay, let's move on to a different class. So 317, my web design class, honestly, you guys have the least interference here. I actually am running the class very much like I did in the classroom. Sometimes I did play the videos there for you too. Sometimes I told you to go watch a video. So really, you just keep on going, but you got to get back into it if you haven't started again. And remember, if you don't get that resume project done, that's it. You can't complete the class. So please get going on that. And finally, 318, the page design class, which uses InDesign so extensively, you guys probably have the biggest lift to do. The good news is the class was scheduled to probably ease off a little bit anyway in the amount of content. You're generally through the take-home quizzes. There's not a lot of that sort of stuff left. And there was going to be a lot of working classes, a lot of classes where you'd actually spend time just working on the projects I was giving you, and some big projects that are coming, just getting going now. The biggest problem is InDesign, right? Maybe you have your own copy, you want to try to use it, okay. There's some issues perhaps with fonts, and you have to do your best to simulate the fonts that we were using. So that could be a problem. But I have played with and I have been using this virtual lab. And there's videos about that on the Moodle site, which I made. Now, at first it's awkward, but I would ask you to think about using it. Actually, it's available to any of you, not just 318 students. 127, 317. Try out the virtual lab. You can find out information about it. I'll include actually links in this email that I'm sending out. Maybe you want to use it just to practice with it, or to try some other software out. Essentially, it's like working in one of our regular labs, like working in Word 115, and just working in that classroom. In fact, that's one of the choices you can do, is essentially use the computers there. The great thing is everything's going to work as far as fonts and styles and so on is going to work properly. The bad news is you're working remotely through a browser, so you have to have a pretty good internet connection, and you have the awkwardness of saving your files back and forth, probably using Google Drive, because you can't like put your own physical drive into the machine. One way or the other, though, 318 is very doable in this remote way. Again, it's completely up to you to go watch the videos and stick with the class and go week by week. There's a few things happening which are actually a little easier to work on your own, like a movie that we're viewing and taking pictures about and so on. So that's a little leeway room there, which should allow you to get back on track there. And finally, for everyone, yes, I'm a bit more flexible with deadlines, but honestly, there's still a lot of content to cover in all these classes. So I'm not going to give up on the content either, because it's important stuff for you to know. And you signed up for these classes, so you need to know this stuff. But I'm willing to be more flexible about it. So I'm not removing that much content. I may be removing exams and some other things, but you still have to do the projects and so on. And also for everybody, you have specific problems, questions, you want to have a video conference just to talk about things. I've done that with a number of students and will be available to do that. I'm actually in my office most every day. I'm in my office now. Don't tell anybody. I'm not necessarily supposed to be working in my office, but here I am because my internet at home is terrible. So I'm here in my office, and I'm available for video conference most every day, almost all morning, and then into the afternoons too sometimes. So just let me know, and I can certainly be here, and we can engage. And if there's something specific, like how to do a certain function or something, I can do it on my computer and show you as we go, and walk through something with you. I have trouble dealing with the vague issues where just everything's difficult, and things are hard. I know. I wish I could do something for you about that. And I know for some of you it's much harder than others for a variety of reasons. All I can say is please do your best to stick with it. If you just ignore the class, it's something I can do. But if you try to stick with it and you try to keep going and I can see you've been watching the videos. I can see when you've watched the videos that you've been doing the effort. Well, that's going to be a substantial thing. So please let me know how it goes. Obviously, stay safe. Obviously, do your best and stick with it. Thanks for